When we get down to talking politics, the country's in the very best of hands. The best of hands.
You're listening to Where You Live with Gene Sullivan.
Welcome back to Where You Live. I'm Gene Sullivan, and I'm broadcasting from the True North Painting Studios. The show is brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency, and Extreme Exteriors. You can count on Extreme Exteriors for expert installation of exterior siding, roofing soffits, fascia decks, windows, and more. With their knowledge and experience, they can design the perfect solution to make your home beautiful and energy efficient, saving you maintenance and money for years to come. Give them a call at 763-441-1334 and tell them Gene sent you. It's time now to hear from the Community Associations Institute. The CAI Minute is brought to you by New Concepts Rental Management. Whether you're an accidental landlord or a seasoned investor, New Concepts Rental Management can advise and guide you through every aspect of the business. Give us a call at 952-922-2500.
Are you a member of the Community Associations Institute? For nearly 40 years, CAI has provided education and resources to volunteer homeowners who govern community associations and the professionals who support them. Visit caionline.org to learn more. That address again is caionline.org. CAI helps community association board members by providing online resources, in-person training, and hard copy publications written by association management experts. CAI offers community managers professional development, networking opportunities, and a certification program that's established as the industry standard nationwide. Minnesota has its own chapter of the Community Associations Institute to bring resources and tools from community associations around the country right to your home. Visit CAIMN.com to learn more and become a member of CAI today. Your community and management company will benefit from your involvement. Join the Community Associations Institute today at CAIMN.com and click on Membership.
Now, if you're just joining us, we're talking about in Illinois, State Representative Sarah Fengenholtz from, I think it's Chicago, a district there in the city of Chicago, sponsored a bill this last year, House Bill 4134, which would finally take away the exception that was given in 2006 under the Smoke-Free Illinois Act. At that time, they said it was illegal to smoke anywhere outside and inside buildings. Exception would be your own personal residence. Now, this year, Representative Fengenholtz said, I wanted to do this bill, House Bill 4134, that would say, we want to now include, even if you live in a homeowners association, you would not be permitted to be able to smoke in your own home any longer. And she said she wanted to do it because she had constituents who wanted these kinds of policies in place in their buildings. So my question is that the proper way to get things done? Is it always to turn to the legislature and say, can you do this for us? In this particular case, I say no. Fengenholtz said even though the bill did not pass, she wanted to be quick to take credit for the fact that she felt that because she introduced this bill, there was another homeowner association that was just happening to go through and changing their governing documents, and they passed it by a supermajority of over 76% of all homeowners who said, we're going to make it so that the rule in our association is you can't smoke even in your own private residence. And so she thought that her bill was positive because others were now taking charge. And she said it's a fascinating example of what a group of people can do to affect change. And I want to ask the question then, if Representative Fengenholtz saw that an individual homeowner association was able to do this in spite of the fact that her legislation didn't pass, my question to her would be, why then do you think that this bill is even needed? Why do you think this bill would even be needed? You know, every homeowner association has the ability to govern themselves. And when you enter into an association, you have the ability and the opportunity to read what the constitution of your association is in what's called the governing documents, of how you're going to relate to one another, of what's permissible and what's not. And you need to sign off in Minnesota and also in Illinois as well, stating that you've read and understood those governing documents before you purchase, before the closing date takes place, because they want to make sure that you know and understand and can to agree to be in this private contractual agreement amongst yourselves and all the other homeowners. Well, it stands to reason if you're going to change something so drastic, like someone says, well, you're going to say, I can't do something in my own home. Well, to do that, there is a way that's allowed, but that means that you need a supermajority of all the members in your homeowners association that vote at a special meeting, that have a vote taken on what it is that you want to change and amend in your governing documents. And that's the proper way to do it. But because that's already there and in place, why then do we need to think that we have to go to a state legislator to have that happen? I maintain that a true politician who knows and understands our wonderful system of government would not make the ignorant statement that she did on why she thought that this bill was needed. And I'm not saying that she is a stupid person, but I think she was ignorant on what the process is, what is truly available to us as Americans, and that same system that is how we elect and govern ourselves on the federal level, the state level, the city level, is also the same thing that happens in a homeowners association. We've talked about this so many times before. It says that in our Constitution that governments are instituted among men, deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. We, as the people who are getting involved, give our consent. We demonstrate our consent when we vote for a board member to represent us, when we vote for a congressman to represent us at the federal level. We show our consent, we demonstrate that when we vote for a change in the governing documents in a homeowners association. And instead of understanding and exercising and celebrating our rights as Americans, we instead seem surprised and fascinated when we see this put in action. State Representative Fengenholtz said that she said, it's fascinating. Here's an association that actually, a group of people who got together to effect change. She was surprised that this even took place. But isn't that the kind of government that we know and enjoy? And isn't that what really should be? I am surprised, not when this takes place. I'm surprised at people who instead end up saying, I have no power. I have no way to make change. I have no way to be able to be deliberate in trying to make a difference where I live. And so, it's easy for a politician to get to a point where they have a greatly elevated appraisal of their own value and self-worth, as she did, saying she took credit that this other association got together and was able to do something that she was trying to make mandatory statewide. And I think that's the beauty of why we have the Constitution written the way we do, why governing documents are individual and unique for each association. Because if you don't like something in a particular state because of the way it's being governed, you have the ability to vote with your feet. And you can move to another state, to another area that may not have as high of personal taxes. Or you may move into a state that does, because you like and support the different programs that are in effect because of higher taxes. But that is your ability to choose as an individual. And that's your ability to choose as an individual in a homeowners association. I am not for seeing any kind of automatic state law that goes statewide saying that all homeowner associations must do this or must not do that. I think we need to be very careful in that. There already is in Illinois, as there is in Minnesota, a state act that governs homeowner associations. And a lot of it has been well thought out, well written, and is already in place. And I think we need to be careful and not so quick to say, let's change it to make it automatic. Why not allow the people to give the consent of those who are being governed to allow and say, I will allow this to take place? I can tell you, a lot of people know I enjoy a cigar. And so if my homeowner association turned and said, we want to take a look at making it throughout our whole homeowner association that nobody can smoke on their deck or even in their homes anymore, I would be active in campaigning, not for it, but against it. But I can tell you what, if my side didn't pass and the other one did, I still would be celebrating. Not celebrating the fact that I wouldn't be able to smoke, but celebrating the fact that as an American, I have the ability to exercise my rights and my freedom. And I think that that falls all the way through down even to the homeowner association level. And I would respect whatever the outcome of that decision is. At the end, what we need to do in homeowner associations is we need to remember that if there is that supermajority vote where something changes that's pretty drastic and different to what we've wanted, we need to remain civil. That's what it means to be a civilian. That we're not going to rant and rave. We're not going to protest and get upset. We're not going to go into rages. What we're going to do is we're going to learn to be civil because we know how to deal with one another. And that's because I believe that we need to respect and uphold private contract rights among property owners. So it didn't pass this year. I'm glad that Senator Fingenholtz saw an example of it taking place on an individual level, and hopefully she'll see that it really isn't needed to do something statewide like that. Well, we need to take a break. Don't go away. A lot more of Where You Live after these messages.